Hello and welcome to the CRM and Client Invoice Tracker Excel template. This is a quick demo video to show you all the cool functionalities packed in here. This template is designed to help manage your client data and invoices all in one place. I designed and created it for small and medium businesses as well as freelancers who could need a more robust tool but who are not going to buy an expensive software subscription or tool. You can draw inspiration from this video to create your own tool or check out its functionalities if you think this could be a good fit for you. Now that we're all set, let's dive straight into the good stuff. I want to use our time together to give you a quick overview of this template. Let's begin with the structure. This file is the all-in-one CRM and Client Invoice Tracker. I have dedicated videos for the CRM Lite Edition as well as the Client Invoice Tracker if you want to check those out. All these files have the client database as the common and foundational element. Here, you will store all your client's data, and the advantage of Excel is that it is offline and secure, so your data is safe. The CRM also comes with an interactions worksheet, which is basically the activity planner or log for client interactions or tasks. And the invoice tracker comes with the invoices and the payments components, so together with an interactive and automated dashboard for you to get better insights into your business and make better decisions. In addition, there's also a customization worksheet where you can customize all labels and dropdowns used across your entire template. Let's take a look at how you customize your template. First thing you'll see is that you have a general client attributes dropdown here on the left. So for instance, you can decide if you want to change or add any values to better classify your clients, or even set their status or priority levels, for example, here at the right. Next, you will find a section for the client database labels. And then you will have a very cool currency formatting setting. Here, you will select your preferred currency format from the drop-down menu, so this one. And that will automatically change the currency format throughout the entire template. Obviously, this won't work for cells that are not included already in the currency ranges defined in the template, since Excel doesn't automatically allow for regional currency formats. But, for example, you can see that the default is US dollar. If I delete this value, it's still US dollar. And let's select now, for example, euros. So I'm going to go here and then look for euro. Once I do that, I go to dashboard and boom, everything is in euros. Same for payments, same for the invoices, for example. Or what if I select something else, like Philippine peso? Now I go again to the dashboard, to the payments, as well as invoices, and everything has been formatted accordingly. Here you have more than 20 different currencies that you can choose from, and all the major ones are included. Then, similar to your client data labels, you have the rest of the worksheets. So you have invoices, then payments, then interactions, and finally the dashboard. In each of these sections, there are labels as well as some additional dropdowns, which you can also customize if needed. Now let's talk about the database in the client's worksheet. You can store all client details here. The table is structured around 5 main categories. You have client details, business information, account management, financials, and then the client engagement. You will add your information here, but stay away from the blue background cells as those are automated. So in this case, cells V to AA, which are pulling information from the invoices and payments worksheets, and then AB and AC, which are doing the same but for the interactions worksheets. To add a new client, you will simply go and start using the first blank row that you have. Obviously, this is pre-filled with sample data, just for me to show you and have a quick demonstration, but in a blank template, you won't see any of this stuff. By default, the template comes with 1,000 pre-formatted client rows, so as you can see, this table goes all the way to row 1004, but obviously you can add more if needed. One very important thing is that clients in this database must be unique. So for example, what happens if I have added Cortez Williams twice? It will be highlighted in red and you'll have to change the name since the record already exists. Also, you first need to add client data, at least the name, before you can move on to invoices or interactions, since everything revolves around this information. Next up, let's take a look at invoices. Invoices and payments are interconnected. First thing is you will create a client invoice in the invoice worksheet. You will define an invoice number or ID. So for example, here in this column, I started with INV for invoice and then a number that I assigned. Then you will assign a client using the drop-down menu. So for example, here you have Smith, Wilson, and Bauer. And then once you have that, notice that the combination must be unique, because this unique client invoice ID is the one that will be used to reference payments to invoices. So for example, say I add again Smith, and then say I added inv 1079, you will see that these are duplicate values. So I need to change the invoice number. Let's say I add 80 and see if that's already there. Oh, there's already an 80 there. So obviously this data is just an example, but let's say I add something that I'm pretty sure won't be there, 7777. Now it's a unique invoice number and client combination, and I'm good to go. After that, you can add any details needed. So you can add a description, payment days, and an issue date. And the cool thing is that with payment days and issue date, your due date will be calculated automatically. You also have the amount due here, and then space for additional notes. Everything else is pretty much automated, so don't change the formulas. As you can see, you also have a tiny box here at the top with a plus sign, which you can click on, and then you have additional fields. You can specify currency if your invoice is in a different currency than your defined one, the subtotal, discount, and tax, but then everything you define here is not going to affect any of the other columns. So for example, if you added a subtotal with a discount and a tax, and you want this to be automatically reflected in the amount due, you would have to add a formula, say subtotal minus discount plus tax, and then that would be the amount due, for example. If you want to close this, you just hit again on the box, now on the minus symbol, and there you go. And another cool thing is that you can also see two things here at the top. You have a dynamic summary for your invoice data. You have the total amount due, amount paid, and balance. And also you have a breakdown of the number of invoices by status. In this template, you have for status, paid, overpaid, partially paid, and unpaid. And here you have the automatic count for them. The other cool thing is that you also have a highlight filter functionality here at the top left. So you can use the filters to visually scan and prioritize invoices based on your current needs. You can filter by client name, which is a dropdown from your database. Same for client name here at the bottom. And then you also have status, again dropdown, a specific due date, and then a month, and then the year. You'll see that this functionality is also present in the payments worksheet, but they work independently, and some of the columns may vary. But for example, let's do my status as overpaid to see any flags, and you can see that overpaid here, and that's the only invoice. I have only one invoice highlighted. Or let's say I have the partially paids or even the unpaids. So I have 5 invoices highlighted. You can see them here. And now let's say that I want to highlight all those that are due on, I can see that there's a October, well, let's just pick October. And there you go. I have one invoice highlighted because it matches unpaid and October. Obviously, I could also add the client here. So my client is Jennings Creative, and it's still matching the criteria because I purposely added the client whose name appeared on that line. But let's say I want all my invoices for Jennings Creative. I have 2 invoices. And another cool thing is that, for example, what happens if I filter here to say all my paid? You can see that my subtotals here changed because the formula is a subtotal, so they're gonna update automatically based on what's displayed on the table. Now I'm gonna hit Ctrl Z and I'm gonna delete all my highlight values. And I think that's a pretty good example now. So let's move on to payments to see how this works. Once you have created and defined invoices, you will go and log all corresponding payments to a given invoice here in the payments worksheet. First thing you'll do is you'll select a unique invoice ID, unique client invoice ID. So the ones essentially that you created based on the combinations of invoices and clients, everything is displayed here. So as you can see, the one I added appears here, so I can put it here. And then once I do that, client name and invoice ID are displayed automatically. Then you need to, or you can add any reference, for example, final payment, partial payment, installment 1, etc. Then you also have the payment method, which is a dropdown. then you have when the payment was made, so a payment date, and based on that payment date and when was the due date, you will see that you have a late payment flag. These two are automatic. And then last thing is you need to add a amount paid. And this amount paid is the one that will be traced back here in amount paid, and obviously that will affect as well your balance. Notice that you can have multiple payments for a given client invoice combination, but the client invoice is just unique. As soon as you enter every detail, the template links payments to invoices and updates amounts paid, balances, and payment statuses automatically. As I mentioned, you also have the ability to highlight payments here in this worksheet, and the functionality is the same as the one we just reviewed for invoices. For both invoices and payments, the template is preformatted with 5,000 rows. So from row 9 in this case to 5,008. But obviously there's space if you need to add additional items. Next up, let's take a look at the dashboard. The dashboard worksheet gives you a clear, data-driven view of your invoicing performance at a glance. It's fully automated and updates in real time based on the information you have entered both in the invoices as well as the payments worksheet. Now the dashboard is divided into 4 key sections. First, you have your leftmost section here below dashboard, which I call parameters and overall summary. Then you have a monthly breakdown, so the blue colored boxes. Then you have a quarterly overview, which is the same format as the boxes, but in a darker blue. And then at the rightmost part of the dashboard, you have a 12-month summary table, as well as a graph on the top. The parameters are a kind of filter that lets you refine the data displayed. So for example, you can define a specific client name, a year, or a date type. Client name, for example, let's take a look at a random client. So this one, Vong Ltd. As you can see, as soon as I selected it, it was activated. And now everything you see here refers to only that client. So every monthly breakdown, quarterly aggregated value, as well as the graph and the table has been updated to only reflect the invoices and payments of that client. I can also select a year. So for example, I can specify that I only want to see 2026. I have nothing in 2026, 2025. So there you go. It was only 2025 data for this client. And then the data type specifies different accounting rules. So first one is issue date. So everything is going to be referenced against the issue date of your invoice. And then the second one is the due date. So the due date of your invoice. Notice that there is a difference because normally invoices have a different issue date and due date, and they can even have months apart difference. So issue date is the default value, but you can also have due date, and that changes slightly the view. Now, obviously, since this is pulling every single thing that you have defined in your database, if you don't specify the year, it's going to throw every year. So if I do 2025, for example, notice that it changed because I also have data for 2026 in this example. So let's do that now, 2026. And there you have it. The graph changed. And if I delete it, as I said, now everything is being aggregated, which is not very useful. But I mean, it could be useful if you want to see some periodicity in your business over the years, for example. As I said, the dashboard is based on the invoices worksheet, which is in turn linked to everything defined on the payments worksheet. You can see that you have a summary of amounts due and paid, invoices, and payment status on each of the boxes that are referring either to a month or to a quarter. And you also have the same here on the left. And finally, you also have a cool bar indicating the progress of payment. So in this case, 60% of whatever was due in May has been paid. That's why there's an open balance, which is in red, and that's why the amount paid is less than the amount due, exactly by 40%. So total 60% of the amount due has been settled. There's one unpaid invoice, and there are a total of 5 invoices that are due in May. That's how you would read that. Next up, let's take a look at interactions. This table has a very similar format to my task planner and task manager. Use the table provided to define and manage all your interactions. Interactions are essentially key activities or tasks designed to strengthen client relationships and drive added value. You can plan, manage, update, highlight, and track overall progress for the interactions. And you can change the attributes on this list based on how they evolve over time. You can set status to completed. So for example, here in status, completed as these 3 first rows, to mark it as completed or done. Optionally, you can also add a completion date and a follow-up date. so completion date and follow-up date, and these values are automatically reflected back in your client database. This template comes pre-formatted with 5,000 rows, so from row 6 to 5,005, but obviously there's much more space if you need to add additional items. And that's a wrap. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you found this video helpful. Feel free to give a thumbs up or leave a comment below. I will continue to upload demos as well as free tutorials and courses to help you level up, so feel free to subscribe and stay tuned. And if you're interested in more productivity and planning tools, check out my store. The link is in the description below. Until next time, stay productive, stay awesome.